This is part 2 of writing a document-based question on the Qur'an and the Hadith, and we had just listened to the third document, and there are a couple tips on how to live your life. One, of course, says you should entertain your guests generously. Another one says you should say what is good or keep quiet. And of course, the first one, you should not harm your neighbor. Well, I'm going to go with the should not harm your neighbor because this does somewhat include entertaining them, your friends or your guests generously, and saying what is good is also a way of not harming your neighbor. So let's go back to our writing and let's use the third teaching. Didn't take it, and not harm your neighbor. So now we have a thesis statement. So that means our example from the first paragraph is going to be talking about document 1, which was how people should behave by being God-fearing. Let's go back and look at that again. And let's take the quotation from it. Surely the noblest among you in the sight of God is the most God-fearing of you. So let's say, surely the noblest among you is the most God-fearing of you. So noble is the highest quality. So our citation is in the Qur'an, and it is 49 verse 13. We have this quotation. Oh, remember how I forgot to do Control-Shift-V? And sometimes it takes out all the formatting. So you just have to fix up the spaces. A lot of backing up and spacing. So what you're going to have to do when you use these quotations is you're going to have to make some comment on them. You're going to have to do some summary. So you're going to really have to say what this means to you. You're, of course, not going to use no first person pronouns. So you're going to say this means, we'll get rid of the rules. That people should, now what is it that you want to say is God-fearing? You know that God is watching you, God knows everything, that people should be aware that God is watching you. God is all-knowing, God is all-aware, so it is difficult to live your life in private if God knows everything. So the citation is the Quran 49 verse 13. So this is the title of the document. This is a quotation from the document. And then we want to say who wrote the Quran, why is it important? So the Quran was written Word of God. First recited by Muhammad in the 7th century and written in the 8th century. So first Muhammad said it, then it was written down. So when you look at documents, you want to know, are they accurate? So this document is believed to be accurate by Muslims. Now, for the bonus points, now would be a good time for you to put down any outside information you can remember about Islam and how it was established. Anything you can remember from the textbook or the articles we read. Now let's jump to paragraph 2. We want to do the same thing. We're going to get the citation from the second document, which is Quran, verse 50, Quran, the 5th chapter, verse 54. We're going to look for a quotation. And we had said, so be you forward, active in good works. So let's copy that down. Let's paste it in. So our quotation, so be you forward, which is another way of saying active, in good works. And again, the citation is the Quran, chapter 5, verse 54. So now you want to say, what does that mean? This means that you should, what? To me, it means that you should be helping other people. You should be taking care of the poor, the hungry, the weak, the sick. And it says being active. So it doesn't mean just thinking good thoughts or just doing it once in your lifetime. It means like on a regular basis. Now, the Quran, again, is considered to be an accurate source by the Muslims. So this document comes from a holy book written in the 8th century. It is a primary source that has been translated from Arabic into English, even though it's a textbook. If you have outside information, you could do that as well. Now you want to do the same thing for your third quotation. If you want to head to heaven, you're not going to harm your neighbor. This is from the Hadith. And then you want